Hi, my name's Libby Seward and I am the movement tutor on the full-time actor training course. My background would be that I studied contemporary dance and worked as a dancer for many years. I'm also a choreographer and have created and presented quite a large body of work. One of my particular interests is in collaborative work, so I've worked with artists and poets and musicians over the years and really enjoyed that kind of interaction. So I guess you could say the collaboration aspect of my work is very important to me. I've worked in theatre a fair bit and in opera more recently, which I find very interesting too as a movement director. So my role here in the Gaiety, in movement is kind of the underpinning and the underlying factor in life. So for an actor to be able to study human nature and to present an authentic or a realistic version of their character, or they need to have some understanding of what their body is doing. So my approach would be very much rooted in two major disciplines. One would be the Laban theories of movement, which look at areas like weight, space, time and flow, and it's a very, very basic understanding of that, which then can be carried across into the other studies that the students are taking part in here. So it kind of all folds in together. So as I say, this idea that the movement is very fundamental to all of that is important. The other kind of place that I draw a lot of inspiration from would be the work of Feldenkrais, Moshe Feldenkrais. And his way of thinking about movement would be to try and look at development of the human being. So everybody's potential is there and it's just a way of tapping into that potential. So sometimes we have habits that we get stuck in, and for an actor that can be quite a restricting thing. The other thing that can happen would be that maybe the voice would be stuck because something in the body, the alignment of the body, needs some looking at. So these things are very, very useful for students to understand and to kind of work into their practice as they approach entering the industry and being more versatile and flexible to take up anything that is offered to them. There is a kind of a philosophy that I go by, which is if you know what you're doing, you can do what you want. So if a student gets to know their body and gets to take care of their body in a very respectful and mindful way, then the body is going to be a good tool. It's going to be something that will stand them in good stead. Another part of the work here would be that at the end of year one there's a showcase, and the students are now offering a piece of work into that showcase which is purely movement based, which is a new concept and has been very well received, and the students really enjoy it. So even though most of the work we're doing is process based, which is very much to give them something to take away with them, which they can have in their toolbox, as I always call it. The other part of it would be that they get this chance to actually showcase some of that work and pull it together, creating an ensemble piece. In the second year, the grad play, I have been asked to do movement direction several times on that, which keeps the continuity, keeps the flow of what I'm doing and how I'm approaching my work and how it combines with the work of the other tutors on the course. So it's another example of how the Gaiety brings a team together to support the young person developing or the student developing. So in a way, the whole concept of movement being so fundamental, it's almost like the invisible art form. So the invisibility of movement it's like that adage that if you only know when it's not there. So I always consider that when an actor has really truly found their body and brought their body into a place where it's open and effortless, then we get a true performance. And however much the text is perfect or if the body is not supporting that, then we have problems. And I often draw on a lot of different influences for that, and one of them that I find very valuable is an area of animal work, which a lot of trainee actors would access. So to find the animal in the character and then find how that can inhabit the character and influence some of the actions, everyday actions. So not necessarily being that animal, but just find the qualities of movement, which are very delicate and sensitive and can almost be invisible. So once they're truly worked into the character, they have this kind of sneaky invisibility, which I think is very exciting, because as an audience member you kind of tune into these things. One more thing that I must mention is breath, and if any of my students ever meet me, they always say breathe, because breath and voice and body and movement are so intricately and there's such a beautiful balance, and when it's in balance it's a wonderful thing to see.